you're telling me that you're not looking for anything at all. You're not looking for anything serious, which in turn tells me you're really just looking for a quick fuck. And then based on everything else that I'm getting from you, you're gonna throw a fit because I'm not having sex with you. That's where my brain kind of like devolved to. And also, like, it's completely possible to meet your soulmate on online dating. Like, it's possible. It's completely possible. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But whatever. So I was like, okay. So he starts asking me about like my ex-husband and whatnot, and it wasn't really something I wanted to talk about. So we kind of avoided that subject a little bit. My knees hurt, sorry. We avoided that subject a little bit. And then it turned back to drinking. So at this point, we're about a half an hour in, and my beer is gone. It's gone. It's gone. Because I love Guinness. I love Guinness and I love Blue Moon. So yeah, it's fucking gone. Fuck that shit. It is mine. I am downing that ish. He's about halfway through his. And he looks at me and he's asking me if I'm feeling it and whatnot. I'm like, no, not really. Oh, because you're such a heavyweight. And I was smaller than I am now at that point. And I said, well, I mean, I guess you could say that. I said, I've got a high tolerance. At this point, I was a high-functioning alcoholic. So, I mean, of course I had a high tolerance. And I said, yeah, typically guys that I go and hang out with, I can drink them under the table. And he kind of looks at me and he goes, well, you could already drink me under the table because I'm such a lightweight. I can't even finish this beer. So I finished his beer too. And then I ordered another one. And we're sitting and we're kind of talking a little bit. Like, the conversation's kind of died. Just like, I'm getting bad vibes off of this guy. I don't like the way he's looking at me. I don't like just like the offhand comments that he's making. Like, one of the things he said was that he said, it's pathetic that a woman of your beauty and charm should spend the night alone. You should have men knocking down your door. Okay, first off, I'm not 100% sure if I'm supposed to be complimented or insulted by that, but I'm leaning more towards insulted. And second off, that's fucking creepy. It's fucking creepy. No. I don't want anybody knocking down my door. I'm so sorry. Like, I keep hitting this pop filter in the microphone and shit and making noise, and if there's a clank in the background, it's because my hamster's in here and he's just running on his little disky thing, wiggling his little booty. Go, Gerald! Go, Gerald, go! Go, Gerald, go! My whole family's asleep right now. It is 4:45 in the morning. Yeah, about that. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the things that he was saying, the stuff he was talking. So then the night starts closing. And by the night starts closing, I mean I'm sick and tired of sitting there completely uncomfortable with this guy. And I'm gonna bounce. And I'm giving bullshit excuses of, oh, I have to work tomorrow. I really need to get to bed. You know, this was a lot of fun. And then the check came. Now, I've had many experiences when it comes to the check. Many experiences. Now, modern society says that if you go on a date with a man and you are a lady, the man is supposed to pay. Now, I think that's bullshit, personally. I typically will sit and argue with you about who will pay the check, and eventually if I feel like it's really going to hurt your masculinity if I pay for everybody, fine, I'll give in. But if I really have no interest in you, I'm not going to let you pay for me. I'm really not. Simply because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I don't want to deal with getting texts and messages 4 days from now. Why haven't you texted me? I bought you a beer. I did this for you. You're just like all the other girls. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Most girls are just like too polite and really don't want to hurt your masculinity. That's why they let you just do it and they don't argue. But I'm a confrontational person. I'm a pretty abrasive person. I'm not dealing with that bullshit. I'll pay for my own goddamn drinks. Okay, thanks. Because apparently being financially independent's threatening to your masculinity. But whatever. So, check comes. I asked them to split it. I paid for mine. He paid for his. And he says something along the lines of, wow, that's a good indicator of how the night went. Because I didn't let him pay. And I said, well, if you wanted to pay, I appreciate that. That's very nice. That's very sweet, very gentlemanlike of you. But I'm a firm believer of, I'm a big girl. I make my own money. I can pay for my own drinks. I said, this wasn't a date. This isn't the beginning of a relationship or anything. I'm not going to bed with you or anything like that. So I just want to make sure that those lines are clearly drawn. I said, I don't want to give any blurring. And he says, I respect that. That's fine. And then, while I'm finishing my second beer, he's going off on a tirade about how other women don't do that, basically. At this point, it's basically, stereotypical boy bullshit nonsense. Like that kind of crap. Like the kind of crap that you would stereotypically hear from a dude who's just been offended. And he just starts going on about it. And he starts, girls use me as free dinner, free drinks, free whatever, and it's stupid. And then they friend zone me. The friend zone. The fucking friend zone. Oh my god. The fucking friend zone. I've got a lot of opinions on the friend zone. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I just can't even with the friend zone. We're basically talking about how he gets friend zoned and talking about how like he tries to be so nice and kind to these girls and they end up just like friend zoning him to go out with some douchebag, and then they come crawling back to cry on his shoulder, and then they just run off and do it again, and they never go for the nice guy who's gonna treat them right and tip his fedora in their direction. I don't know. I don't know. Now at this point, I start to get even more creeped out because I'm done with my second beer. I've had 2.5 beers at this point because I finished half of his. And it's no big deal. It's whatevs. It's fine. I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm completely fine to drive, but he insists that just come up to my apartment and sit with me for a little bit. That way I know for a fact you're fine before you drive home. So, okay, fine. I said, all right. You're worried, being respectful. I understand that. And fucking hell. First off, if you've ever lived in like one of the brand new, like the new apartments on like Mass Ave, the apartments are shit. They're tiny. The walls are paper thin. There's no insulation. I'm sure there's insulation, but it feels like there's no insulation. I mean, they're pretty on the inside and you're in a really cool part of town, but I don't think it's worth it because they're a shit ton of money. But that's just my opinion. So he takes me upstairs to one of these apartments, and the one we go into has nothing in it. Literally nothing in it. We walk in, we turn on the lights. There's kitchen. Then past the kitchen, there's the living room. And then there's a little hallway. And then there's a bathroom and a bedroom. And the bedroom has a pile of blankets and pillows in the corner next to the window. And a phone charger. And that's it. That's all that's in this apartment. And I'm kind of sitting here like, wait. Please don't tell me this is where you're trying to take women back to. Because this looks like... You know what? If I didn't have a weapon on me, I would be very, very afraid that I was about to get murdered. Because this is creepy. Oh yeah, I just moved in and, my stuff hasn't gotten here yet. And right. Whatever you say, darling. Just whatever you say. So I sat down, facing him, my back to the wall, right next to the doorway, so I can hear anything and everything that's going on in this apartment, because I'm officially freaked the fuck out. And he walks over and he flops down in his big pile of blankets, and this is really comfy over here. I'm good where I am, thanks. You sure? You sure? Show you a good time. Much better than that ex-husband of yours. And the whole time I'm sitting here and I'm just like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Straight up, I need to get out of here. So I tell him again, no, I'm fine, thank you. And then at this point, you can tell, like, he's kind of figured out that when I said I'm not having sex with you, I meant it. I'm not having sex with you. He goes, fine. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep. Just lock the door on your way out. He huffs over and rolls over in a huff and just, like, throws the blankets over his head and turns off the light. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm outie, deuces. Like, bye. I'm just done. Like, I'm just done with you at this point. So I go and I get out of the building, which was a pain in the ass. And I get in my car. And I immediately lock the door and I just sit there. Terrified. Just, like, absolutely petrified. And the whole time, like, I couldn't figure out what the issue was. I really couldn't. Because you hear guys a lot, especially on the internet, they go on and on and on about, oh, I've been put in the friend zone. Okay. But they say it like it's this god-awful, horrible thing. They say it like, I'll never find love because of this. How could you do this to me? It's like putting me in purgatory. But I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it. Because if you're in the friend zone, that means she just wants to be friends. And then, like, if it's the situation where, like, she goes and dates a douchebag or whatever, and I'm really sorry, my sleeping meds are kicking in, so I'm starting to, like, ooh. So, like, if she starts dating a douchebag and she's coming to cry on your shoulder, that tells me that you agreed to this. That's where I'm getting it from. That's what I'm hearing, is that you agreed to this. Because here's the thing, is you can either be, and this is my own personal opinion,